Does nobody care about entitlement anymore? It doesn't make any sense. You take the tipping system, for example. You take the tipping industry, for example, and you can see the blatant entitlement within the people that work in these industries. Now, I worked in these industries before, but I never thought that I was entitled to the people that were coming to pay for the service, not of me being nice or kind to them or serving them, but for the service that the company in which I am employed by is providing and is selling for a profit. That's what the people come for. That's what they come to the business for. They don't come inside the restaurants to be treated nicely by you. Not that they should be expected to be treated poorly, because the contract within your agreement of employment between you and your employer, be enthusiastic. Remember to put a smile on your face. That's what it is. That's what it is. But the world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't matter if the customer chooses not to tip you. For as much as people do not like the nice guy trope of, well, stop being nice, you was always nice just because you were trying to get that girl fat. Well, you're only nice to try to get a tip. You don't give a damn about the service you give these people. You don't give a damn about, what kind of customer service you give them or what kind of rate. You just want the tip. And maybe if you don't expect the tip, you might get the tip. You know why? Because you should do things without expecting it. You see these things that is found within multiple areas in society, that is said when people are complaining, when they're finding dissatisfaction or annoyance about the current situation that they are dealing with, just like the people that are tipping. People will be called entitled. People will say, well, you don't owe this, you don't owe that. Except for this situation and within this context. You rarely see people, there's just a few people in between, telling people that are asking for tips, well, you're just being entitled. You're just doing this. Nobody owes you anything, But it's not just because you rely on the customer. It's not the customer's fault that's making you rely on the customer's money to get by. It's the company in which you are employed by and the system that allows the company to do so that is at fault. It's not the customer itself. It doesn't matter if you're treating the customer as just as he was Donald Trump. A customer isn't obligated to give you a tip or the amount of tips that you would like due to the service that you think you gave or that you gave. Because you're not entitled to anything. People don't owe you anything. They could choose to give you a tip if they want to. But you're not owed a tip just because you gave a good service. That's a requirement of your job duties. I think, hold up a mirror to society. Society is like the woman in the mirror, who's looking at all her insecurities. It doesn't matter if she's pretty. It doesn't matter if she's ugly. It doesn't matter if she's drop dead gorgeous. She's going to hide up all those securities. She's going to hide up all those insecurities. She's going to see a pimple right here and some acne on this side and say, oh, this need covering up. This need all that. And that's what society is doing right now. It don't want to acknowledge his own self. It don't want to acknowledge his own flaws. So it deems itself to be a hypocrite. Their own ways will condemn them. And that's what's happening to society right now. The same people that will be complaining about, well, I didn't get tipped enough on this. Well, if you can't tip, then don't come out and eat out. You're not the service that they're coming out to eat for. They're coming out to pay for the food. That's the product that's being served. Your hospitality, your serving abilities, how well, how fast you can serve is not what's being sold. That's the requirement for you to be employed at that job. Because guess what? If you don't serve right and serve well, guess what? Complaints are going to happen. Then guess what? You can end up getting fired because you're not fulfilling the responsibilities of the duties of your employment, which is the requirements. That's why on job description you see, well, be enthusiastic and put on a smile. You see these things. There's customers in a lot of the places that have these things in their job description. But it's the job requirements. It's not something that's being sold onto the customer. This is an entitlement. It's really entitlement. But objectively, this is not an opinion. It's clear it's entitlement. Now, whether you're right in that entitlement, because people can be right in entitlements now. Now, if you want to make that decision, then that's good. I would say people are and can be right in that entitlement. The argument can certainly be made. But the point of this video is acknowledging that, for one, this is an entitlement. And this is also an entitlement that falls in the category of being acceptable within society. And this, so when people complain and bitch and moan about people being entitled within society, ask yourself, are their entitlements justified? Are their entitlements right? Are their entitlements should be allowed and had? Because there are certain entitlements that certainly are justified and had. No, that's all rights are. Rights are just entitlements that we all stand in agreement upon. Like the amendments that we have in the Constitution. Those are all entitlements that we think and feel that we need to have, that we deserve to have, because we're Americans. Just like the people that are working them server jobs, that are relying on people's tips. They think and feel that they are entitled to the people's tips because they rely on their tips to get by. So yes, a lot of people are entitled. But perhaps you stop complaining about how people are entitled and realize there are certain